Test 1, 2. Looks like we're go with the volume levels. I think we're doing okay here. Thanks for coming by, guys. I figured we'll have a little fun on World Whiskey Day. Wasn't actually aware of it until I saw some advertisements for some other shows going on. And I thought, well, this is a good excuse to pop open a very special bottle to me. And one that is a little more easier to find. I need to look at the price point on it, but we're going to look at the Glen Elgin 12, and we're also going to look at this guy here. Was lucky enough to find this the Ardbeg Kildalton is the 2014, and found that it's a. I heard it was a distillery only bottle, so that is surprising, but it's all the money that they charged for it supposedly went to North Island charity for a community hub they were starting for the people that lived in the Port Ellen area, which is actually really interesting. I hope it was successful. I didn't see anything regarding success versus failure, but it's worth a look, and hopefully other distilleries will do the same thing if they haven't already. Ardbeg's the only one I've heard of that's actually done that. And if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at the chat area for people that come in. Hey, thanks for stopping by. And we'll look at that second. I thought about doing my second favorite distillery, which is Lefroy. I've got an Anklemore over there I thought about maybe doing as well in honor of World Whiskey Day, but only if we have the time, possibly. But we're going to start out with the Glen Elgin 12 and see how that goes. Let me pop up some notes over here to help out with some of the information. I use distiller.com to get some cask information that normally might not be available. This doesn't have anything in particular regarding that, but hopefully it will be a fun one to do because I've heard good reactions to it. It supposedly is a hidden gem, as I've seen someone actually describe it as. So we'll see how that goes. I've marked my glasses here to know which one's which. I've poured them out. I typically, my own personal thing is per year, I give it a minute. A minimum of 12 minutes. And the Kildalton most likely has, I would think, 9 to 10 year, probably the youngest juice in it. But I still gave it 15 minutes just for, give it a little cushion for time. You always got to take your time with good whiskey, pretty much. Sometimes you get lucky and you pour a glass and right out of the bottle, it's great. That does happen, but sometimes you get what you wait for. Instead of get what you pay for, you get what you wait for. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, Welsh, good to see you. I'm glad you got to stop by. We'll take a look at this Glen Elgin 12 and tell me if you guys have this one before. I've not had it before. This is a graciously donated salsa by Scott E from Distiller, and we're gradually tasting all the distilleries in Scotland and seeing what they have to offer. Hopefully this one will not disappoint. I've recently done a Royal Brackla 12, which didn't really do much for me. I think it's a Machnemore, is how you pronounce it. I can't remember. I'm going off memory here. A 12, and that really didn't do it for me either. It was a Flora and Fauna bottle, which really surprised me because I figured, Giaggio Flora and Fauna bottles usually do pretty well, I thought. But that one just missed the mark for me. So hopefully this, I don't believe is a Flora and Fauna bottle. It's a standard distillery 12. But hopefully we'll reap the benefits here. I like the nose right off the bat. Nice and sweet. Is this guy, let me take a look and see if this guy is, I want to say it's a Speyside, but that's just guessing. Oh, I was right, Speyside. Luckily, typically I can get it off the nose and tell you where it's most likely from, unless it's like a hybrid, like an Islands, like Talisker might throw me off because it kind of leans toward the Isla area. And but but you know, it does have a lot of eyelid-like properties, being in the Isle of Skye. So sounds like my wife's coming downstairs. I'm on the air. Anyway, well, I was a little early to the show, so I didn't want to step on anybody's toes later on. So I figured I'll get a little early start before 3. Hey, Telex, you organized the area, but looks good. Oh, thanks, Mike. I think it's Mike from Bourbon Shenanigans, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Tom, thanks for stopping by. Is that Mike or someone else? I can't remember if that's the same guy that does. Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, I've got the shrine back in order. I've got my computer back, thankfully. I had a bad deal with Square Trade, horrible warranty company. Never do business with them unless you have to. I went with a local company called DSR that repairs Asus computers, which is what this laptop is. And they do other ones like Lenovo and HP, other big brands. So if you need computer repair work done, even though it's in Maryland, it's worth the shipment to them because they repaired it within 3 days. This other place had my computer for a month, and I had to ask for it back because they couldn't tell me how long it was going to take for them to fix it. And it just needed a keyboard replacement. So there you are. Yeah, I've been happy with the new shrine, I call it. Got my spring banks up there. I got my Bunnahabhains over there. My favorite distillery is Ardbeg right now. Lefroy's my close second favorite, as you can tell. Kildalton is a newer distillery. It's in my top 3 or 4 at a minimum. I do like Kalila. Kalila kind of threw me off with the unpeated. I wasn't a big fan of that. I do like the Mulk. I love the 12. I've had that before. It's great. Bowmore is decent. I like the 10 Doris more, which is also the same as Tempest. The 18, of course, is nice, but Bowmore is a little thinner for my preference, but you know how that goes. But got some Lagavulins down here, some Octomores over here. That Octomore, that black one, I'd love to do that one really soon. I was lucky enough to find a 6.1 on the shelf still at a local store, and I thought, ooh, I gotta, you know, take a look at that because I love the 7.1. Not a big fan of the 7.3. But it's just a cask thing. You've got to like the cask in order to get into that expression sometimes. So, but we'll take a look at that later. And back here we got Highland Park, we've got Kilkerran and all sorts of stuff. I got a lot of stuff over on this other side you can't even see. So the collection is building in time, and but I'm trying to keep it to Isla Campbelltown as far as the collecting goes. Reviews, I just try to do as many as I can and what I get. And thanks again to Scotty for the Glen Elgin 12. We'll have to. The initial nose is great off the bat. A lot of nice sweet fruit, vanilla. And digging deeper, I'd say some nice pears and apples. The vanilla is still there. Some cream maybe. I'm wondering about the color. If you know about the color, let me know if you know if this is not chill filter or colored. I'm not quite certain on this one. I don't have the bottle to you know, really review, and I don't see any other notes. I'm kind of looking to see if there's anything extra. It's supposedly not currently available in the United States. I'm surprised. So I think Scott had to do some special ordering for this guy. And if I had to take a guess, we might have a little slight coloring going on here based off it being 12. If it was 15 or 18, then I would say we're probably dealing with, you know, some natural color. Chill filtering, I think this is a 40. Let me look and make sure I tell you guys the right thing. I think it's a 43, but let's just double check. 1 second here. 43, yeah. So it's most likely chill filtered, I would say, but I'm guessing. So don't take my word on that. I wish I had the bottle. If you do know, let me know in the comments of the video afterward or in the chat, because these will be posted, I think, afterward if everything goes well. I'm using a new camera setting on the YouTube streaming where when you stream it, it's a new function that's kind of like where you can just start a new feed, and I think I got myself set on 1080p at least now. So hopefully everything audio video works really well comparative to the phone that I was using over in the corner. Thanks for the thumbs up too, guys, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, if you don't mind, and appreciate all the support. Because as we know, this hobby is not cheap, and as you can tell, I don't get any help on the bottles, unfortunately. But any help would be nice. If you do have a special one you'd like to take a look at, I prefer Isla's in Campbelltown, but I am not prejudiced on any type of area. I like Highlands sometimes. Dalwhinnie's a good distillery there. In the lowlands, I like Auchentoshan. I do like Glenmorangie. I think that's a Highland. Talisker from the Isle of Skye, love it. Glendronach is another favorite. So I'm equal opportunity. You get some nice sugar. I'd say powdered sugar in this too. Confection. I'm digging for I'd love to get some doughy pastry. I'm not getting it yet though. It's very light. Maybe if it had a higher ABV, it might pop more on the nose. But it's not unpleasant by any means. I'm definitely into it. Let's have a little sip. We're going neat, of course. Wow, for 43, it's got a punch to the ABV. If I had to take a guess, definitely a bourbon, an oak cask going on there, even though I didn't have any special information. I'm trying to detect sherry, and there might be if there is any there, it's extremely limited. But it is well done, surprisingly. And I'm glad to finally get an obscure distillery with a basic 12-year that actually does not disappoint. It's hard to find a distillery that's not already well known, not already ready available in the United States, and be thankfully, a pleasant surprise happen. The only other time this happened recently was the Royal Lochnagar. They have a 12, and that one was a pleasant surprise. That stood out that I remember on our voyage around the distillery. So this is reminiscent. This is actually might be even a little better than that because it does have some savory properties coming in on the back end, which what I was looking for, giving that little bit of sourdough, a little bit of pastry, like a biscuit, British version of a cookie, not very sweet, a little more savory. Depending on, of course, which one you get, because there's, I'm sure there's tons of thousands of different versions of biscuits or cookies in Britain as there are here. So, the grassy, more herbal notes are coming in too. This is actually a nice complex one for a 12-year, I'd say. And I did look at the pronunciation. Glen Elgin is the proper way. I know some Americans do Elgin, which is more of that soft J sound. But from what I was looking at, the old school way is Glen Elgin. So hopefully that's not incorrect, but that's what I found at least. Hey, Richie Z, thanks for stopping by. Shortbread cookie, yeah. 43, wow, better to add some ice. That's one thing you'll probably never see me do unless it's a nice blend. Like you probably heard of Bell's before. I can't remember if it was Ralphie or somebody I was watching got me thinking it'd be nice to have just a bottle of blend around just for sipping, if I just want a nice drink on the side, a little, if it's, hot outside. And the Bell's is actually not a bad choice. And that one does need maybe just a little, ball cube or whatever. But typically this is not, it might be a little hot on the initial palate, but it's nothing overwhelming like a cast strength or like an Octomore where you're kind of like, oh gosh, I need a little water on this. And the temperature thing throws me off sometimes. So I try not to change the temperature of the whiskey, even if I need water. But I'm not telling you what to do. Of course, whiskey is a subjective experience, and if you like it a little colder, you like the temperature change. I'm like, throw whatever ice you want on it. Lee, G, my friend might come out and find you and burn you, but I say do it the way you want to do it. If it makes you happy, then you're doing it right, is what I say. Thanks for the picture quality. Is great comment there, Richie. I was hoping it was a lot better than it used to be. You could probably make out some of the bottles back there, at least at this distance. And Welsh says he bought a very tempting single cask ex-bourbon Kalila 57.7 Gordon MacPhail. That sounds good. Independent Kalila shows you how good Kalila is. You're very right about that. I've had my eye on a Signatory. It's an independent bottling. I think it might be Gordon MacPhail as well. I can't remember who does Signatory. Let me know if you know. And I think it was a cask strength Kalila. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. It's readily available at this one store I know. They're like $10, $20 more, unfortunately, on their pricing, but they do have some nice finds. I might try to get that one from them and that might even be the same thing. I can't remember the ABV on it though. 57.7 is a nice sound deal. Is that Kalila, is that peated or unpeated, Welsh? I'm assuming it is peated, hopefully for your sake. I don't like the unpeated ones that much. I need to try the 15. I wasn't too impressed by the 17, but I'll give it a try. The Glen, Gordon MacPhail's Benny's pick of Kalila. It could be very good. Yeah. 10-year 59 ABV. Wow. That's a high one there. Tamar, she's asking Tamar, well, the ABV is usually at least 46 and they're all natural. Yeah. That's a good point. I think I might need to pull the trigger on that and broaden my Kalila experience. That moke, if you can find that moke, you might have to order it overseas. Hopefully you have a friend or yourself that's in the area that you can get it. It's well worth the voyage, worth the experience to try it. It's not expensive. It was under $100 from what I remember. And for Scotch, that's not bad. It is an NAS, but I'd be surprised if there was ultra young stuff in there. And if there is, it's extremely small amount, nice smoke of, trademark Kalila. Very, very well done. Let's get back to this Glen Elgin before I get off on tangents. Yeah, still some grassy notes coming in there. Some hay, straw. Not bad. I missed my sweetness though. I didn't even add anything to it. I guess it's just evolving over time. It's a medium mouth coat, which is nice for a 43. You don't usually see that too. Mm. Nice buttery popcorn on this taste. This is nice to me because it's ever changing. Every time I go in, even if I don't get exactly what I had before that I love, I'm getting something else that's either just as good or something that's just as interesting. And that's what you really want in a more special dram. And for a 12-year, that's surprising. I wonder if Glen Elgin has am I saying that right? I'm already confused myself on the pronunciation. I wonder if they have a 18 or a 21 or something that's available. I'll have to look into that. This is definitely one that's got me intrigued to do additional research to find, a special bottle, especially if a cask strength or a sherry, cask version, or a specialized like Amontillado or a Marsala or something like that. This has got some almonds in there. This is Richie. This is a Speyside, and the reason I knew even before I looked initially is that it's got that sweet factor that you get from a lot of Speysides. This one is well rounded though, where the sourdough almond marzipan kind of stuff, it rounds out the sweetness of the pear and the grapes and peaches, and it's it's really well done. Finish wise, I think that's where I might have to ding it a little, and I think it's because of the age and the ABV not being at least 46 to 48%. Not surprising, but great for entry level for this distillery. I mean, I'm not disappointed by any means, and definitely into trying more. I don't think these guys are a blend. I'd be surprised if they are, because it's already well done. It's not like one of these like you might let me try to find 1 second. I'm gonna go to another screen here. Let's see. It sold in 1900, then changed hands in 1902, yet again in 1906 when it was bought by blender John Blanche. In the 30s, it was part of the Scottish malt distillers and became an important component in popular White Horse blend. Oh, so it is a part of a blend called White Horse. I'm not familiar with that one. Distillery only started releasing their own 12-year in the late 70s. Not currently available in the U.S. Okay. Well, that's a shame. That is really a shame. It's a nice malt. It's not peated. There's no smoke, but this goes to show if you've got enough savory notes to balance sweetness and you've got a good malt, you're going to satisfy people like me that's more into the smoke and the peat because of the strong, pleasant flavor that's well balanced, Really nice experience. Anybody else had the this offering? I'm curious. Hey, Swami, thanks for stopping by. Going to get a shout out to independent Glen Elgin too. Oh, I have a Cadenhead, a 20-year-old at cast strength. Had a lovely Gordon Fill 16 refill sherry at 46 a while back. Damn, Wallace, you've got quite a experience there. If you don't mind, on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give the cast strength, the 20-year-old one, and a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give the refill sherry at 46%? I'm curious. That should be a special experience, I would think, because just going by this basic base juice, I can only imagine what a 20-year at cast strength would be like. It'd have to be probably at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I would hope. And even the refill sherry at 46. This with some more sherry notes would be pleasant. Right now I'm giving this with the finish that is there, but not long enough for me. I'd call it short to medium. I'm thinking a 3.5 out of 5, 2.5 increments. Thinking that's fair. It's better than average. It could be a lot better though with the age and the cast strength that you're speaking of, and I think if it had that, I would get a much better, experience overall. Somebody says I had to choose between Telex and Bourbon Night. Oh, easy choice. Oh, thanks, Swami. That's awfully nice of you. I guess Bourbon Night, is that a different YouTube channel? Not familiar with it because I'm not a bourbon guy, unfortunately, but I'm not seeing anything other than 12 from. Okay. Hey, Dave. Thanks for stopping by. That's my stepdad. Good to see you. I hope you're having a happy World Whiskey Day. It's also Preakness Day, so I might have to bust out my jockey hat here in a little while. Oh man, and I'm going to use it for the Belmont too. Let's see if Justify can pull things through. And it's a sloppy track like it was in the Derby here. The Preakness, very sloppy. It's an absolute mess. And I think since Justify did so well on the sloppiest track, I think in Derby history, if I'm not mistaken, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I'm thinking that he's got a really pretty much a shoe-in win on today at the Preakness. And we'll see the Belmont. Belmont's a different story. It's a longer race. Also, dictated by the weather could be a big difference. If it's, if the horse doesn't do as well in the, I think it's like a mile and a half or something. If you go around and it's not a sloppy track, if it's sunny, it's hard, dry, Justified might not have as good as a chance, but I'm always hoping that the Triple Crown winner can do it. I forgot his last name, Bill, the trainer for the horse. He had American Pharoah already, and if he wins this and does a Triple Crown, he'll be able to. I bet you he'll be able to dictate any price for training he could even contemplate. I'm thinking that he's going to be a multi-millionaire before long. Hey, Agavite, thanks for stopping by. Warm up show. Yep. I thought since I didn't want to miss out on the festivities, I would get in here and get out before your 4 o'clock start. Aquavite is going to do a warm up show also here at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And check out his channel. He's got a long list of people that'll be going on, one after another, all the way until like 2 in the morning. It ends with Foodquake, who does a lot of good after shows for the Scotch Test Dummies. I do the after shows for the Scotch 4 Dummies. I guess they couldn't make it this time. I thought they were a part of this, but when I looked at Aquavite's recent list of people that were going to be on, I noticed they weren't on, so I'm not sure if they had to drop out or were busy or what, but I have to see. Yeah. Thanks, Swami, for the comment. Yeah, the collection's growing. I got my eye on this Kilholman. It's a Sauternes cask, and it's like 110. And I think that it's going to be good. Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's not. And they also have some other ones up there I got to get. So the Kilholman area, the 4 here, that's going to quickly expand up. I'm probably going to move the Springbank stuff over this way. And the Kilholman is going to have its own complete area right there where that Springbank stuff is. So that's going to be the next goal. Hey, Paul, my friend Generously Paul from Distillers On, going to pour me some Nakando 15, Nakandu, sorry. Nakandu, I think that's how you say it, 15 shortly. Hope it doesn't disappoint. I don't think it will, Paul. I was pleasantly surprised by that offering, and that was from Mr. Scott, I believe. Yeah, Scott gave the Nakandu 15, and I was like, I love the spicy notes in that. I'm not going to go into detail. No can do. Okay, no can do. That's easy. I think you'll be into the spiciness of it, and just be ready for lots of flavor. It's a good flavor overall. We tried hard to get the Scotch dummies. They're all over the place this weekend. Yeah. I can imagine those guys with 4 guys, it's hard to get it. I think all 4, at least even 3, probably in one place at one time. If you keep collecting, you'll have to. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Thankfully, I've got some room for expansion over this way. It's too bad I don't have a 360 camera. I might have to look into one, like a nice 360-degree camera, because that would be able to really get a good view of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other shelves over that direction. That'll be pretty freaking nice. I'm doing the t-shirt giveaway during my 9 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, I need a Swami shirt. That's one thing I don't have. I got to get me one of those. I'll tune in, and if I don't get one, I'll probably end up buying one from you anyway, Swami. I like the Gothic font on your logo, so I might have to snag one. Not gonna do. Is this new Japanese? No, Welsh. This is Scottish. I think it's just basic Scottish, just not very well known, unfortunately. I think after the exposure that they're going to have some fun with it. I think they'll get a lot more sales, in other words. Tom asks, I just got a 2011 Kilholman 5 Sauternes. Ooh, a specific bottle exclusively for Delilah's and Jack Rose. Oh, huge sale, saved me $80. Wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, the Sauternes that I found is just their standard offering, but I'd be really, and Jack Rose is local to me. That's DC. I'd love to try some of that. If you've already opened it and you've got enough juice left, I'd trade you some salsa for. Maybe for some of that, if you're interested. I'm not sure if I have anything that you're interested in. I've got quite a few, as you can see, so we could probably work out something. As Richie C says, he's size medium for swallowing. Travis asks all that Kildalton. We're going to look at that in a second. We better get on the road here so we don't run out of time. We'll just, in conclusion, I definitely recommend getting that Glen Elgin. I think it's Elgin, hard G. I got to remember that. It's well worth the taste, I'd say. Akantoshan, yeah. Let's see. Kilholman seems to have exclusive bottlings for various stores like Total Wine. Yeah, I didn't know that, but they do also have special distillery offerings. I've seen some local distillery barrels used for whiskey for Kilholman in Maryland specifically, and I'm going to get my hands on one just to see what it's like. Aquaviti says, hope to welcome you in places tonight. Telex, take care, get off to get ready. All right, cheers, Aquaviti. I'll be off here. I'm going to shut off about 10 till, and that way it'll give people time to get a quick break in and get over to your channel and keep the World Whiskey Day flowing. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I'll be have some more subscribers, so I'm a little more much of an influencer to get on board maybe next year or something. Or if you guys do another roundtable, I'd be definitely up for doing it. And see you later, Swami. Let's take a look at this Kildalton. And that Glen Elgin, I could probably put some water on it and even get some more notes. I didn't really need it, and I hate to do that on 43% unless it's absolutely necessary. I do have some more of that sample, so I will experiment a little more with that. Since we don't have a whole lot of time, I'm going to go ahead and move on and go from there. Travis asks, what are your top 5 non-CR bottles? Ooh, okay. Let's see. This is going to be tough, but easy number 1 is Dark Cove. I love the Dark Cove for the savory meets the sweet factor. Extremely well balanced, reminiscent of the Lagavulin Distiller's Edition, which I also love. Filet mignon, Black Forest cake together. I couldn't ask for more. Ardbeg, Dark Cove, the CR and the limited release are my favorite whiskeys. That's easy peasy, no questions asked, done deal. Second, wow, personal taste preference. Now, I respect the complexity of the Kelpie. Very well done sauerkraut, German breakfast in a bottle. Great notes. It's a little, I don't know, and I love the Black Sea casks that you get, the influence from Russia on the Kelpie. But I prefer the Grouse because of the charred fruit, woody notes. It's like Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask on steroids. That's probably my number 2. I have yet to open the Era Verde, so it'll be another review. We haven't tasted the Kildalton yet. That'll be reviewed now. Ardbeg's probably, man, that's tough. That's definitely top 5 material. I'm trying to think. Kelpie's probably 4th. One more. The Ugadal. It's an easy go-to standard every day. I have not had the roller coaster, the Galileo, the Serendipity, the Supernova, the Alligator, the Erignon Bashed, Lord of the Isles. There's like 7 right there I've mentioned I haven't even had yet. So that goes to show that I am still on my Ardbeg journey. We'll see how that goes, though. Let's take a little look at it'll be funny to see all the whiskey tubers' wives got together into their own steam talking about being married to a whiskey nut. Yeah, my wife would, I'm sure, love that. Let's see. Let's take a little look at this Ardbeg. Now, like I said before, this was a distillery only bottle. This was also charity to the North Island Hub Community Project for the Port Ellen area specifically. So you can still find this for 160 pounds in Britain. I've heard it's a good dram. I've not seen any negative reviews on it, surprisingly. Like the Air Veritas, I have seen negative reviews on that. But this one I have not. So hopefully we are still in a pleasant thing, and we'll see how it goes. Let's have a little palate cleanser here before we even start. Taste does affect the nose, so you want to, even though if you're going to go for a nose first, you want to get your your taste buds clean. I got some non-salted Pringles here. It's kind of like a saltine without salt. Pretty good way to cleanse it without getting a lot of influence on anything else. It's already in front of you guys. It's just necessary evil, though. Well, it says, tomorrow, my God, it will confirm all their suspicions of their sad husbands guzzling down their retirement plans in front of the computer. Well, thankfully, I'm pretty good about, setting aside a strict budget on the fund. So hopefully when I get more subscribers, I got like 161 right now on YouTube. On Twitter, I've got probably at least 100 or so. On Distiller, I've got about the same. If I can combine these guys, and I need to get my videos over to Facebook and get those posted too. If I can kind of combine the flow of effort, hopefully I'll have a little more traction and see where that goes. So I was looking at editing videos that I've had before, and it's a pain to do. Unfortunately, it's not the easiest thing to just jump into. And I'm a software guy too. Jumping into a video editing software you haven't used before, like Lightworks even, and messing around trying to figure out how to get the videos edited just such in a way where it's like 7 to 10 minutes and it makes coherent sense. I'm more of a real-time, non-edited, go with the flow, do 2 or 3 drams at a time kind of guy. So it's hard to edit that. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to sit down with I'll just get a bottle, like a new bottle of NO or a new bottle of Select or, 10 cast strength, whatever it is, and just do a quick 5 to 7 minute review on it. Hit the nose, the palate, the finish, overall score, bam, done. And just start redoing a bunch. Unfortunately, some of these I might not ever be able to get the bottles back. So the ones I still have juice for, I'll have to do a quick deal of it, unless I'm lucky enough to get enough funds or samples to do some of these that are tougher to find. But that's the goal, maybe, to do some quick reviews as options on the side, and also still have the live show for just get together. So. Oh, wow. Gotta love Ardbeg. I love them so much. I've got to get over there for just a weekend. I don't care what it takes. If I have to swim the Atlantic Ocean, I'm going to get my ass to the freaking Ardbeg, excuse me. Oh, man. Lovely peat smoke. Tar, soot. Oh, brine. Really nice vanilla notes. This already reminds me of something. I'll get to that in a second. Well, I'm not going to reveal it until I get on the taste because I want to make sure that I'm not overstepping something here. Really, really nice. Some sweetness in there. More of a vanilla. The Texas mint. Seashells. Ah, lovely. I think this is pretty natural on the color. It's a kind of a pale straw color. I've heard that the 9 to 10 year is probably the youngest juice in this thing. If that's true, then I'm pretty sure that, and they're pretty good about non-chill filtering. Let's take a quick look on the bottle here. This is what the bottle looks like up close. Man, it's lovely. I almost didn't want to open it because I'm sure it's going to be worth probably 1,000 in like 5 years, but I'm all about the taste. A symbol of our commitment to supporting the remote and fragile communities of the islands and highlands of Scotland. 46%. This is the 70 milliliter version, of course, since I had to get it overseas. There's that fancy UK market deal, and it's got some notes on there. We won't get into that because I want to do my own notes. And it's even got the health deal: 3 to 4 units a day for a man, 2 to 3 units a day for a woman. That's interesting. Please savour responsibly. I will. Nothing about the chill filtering on 46. It's iffy. That's right at that threshold where it's like, well, it's almost not worth doing it. If they did, this is, you would think, would be specifically for more connoisseurs. So you would think they would try to get away from it. But back in 2014, though, I don't know if chill filtering and coloring was as looked down upon as it is nowadays. Let me know if that's true or false. I'm not quite sure. Yes, there are sherry casks involved with this. Now I'll get to the specifics on the types here in a second. Give me 1 second here. Thanks for reminding me, Travis, because sometimes I get off on tangents. Let's go to the Kildalton. I'm looking at this other screen over here, guys. Bear with me. This is the Kildalton. Now, keep in mind, there are 2 versions, actually 3, if you want to be technical. 3 versions of the Kildalton. The first 2 were not peated very much at all. It's almost noted as being an unpeated Ardbeg. I love to try it. It's from 1980, though. I think there was a 79 and an 80, or it was 80 and 81. I can't remember which one it was, but there were early versions of this that were very low ppm. This has high ppm. We'll get that in a second. The older versions are completely different, though. This is a non-chill filtered blend of various whiskeys matured in bourbon barrels, as well as first fill and refill cherry casks. So there you go. So we got the ex-bourbon and we got the ex-sherry. We got first fill and refill. So they've done a lot of hopping around on the blending of their whiskey here. Lovely, really nice vanilla notes with the peat. And the peat smoke is still heavy. I was going to say earlier, it has to have a taste first, and I'll get into what it reminds me of. Ooh, nice. I cannot get enough Ardbeg. Oh, my. Ooh, still going. Still juicy, not dry. That's one thing that worried me. I read a review on it saying that it was going to be dry, but thankfully for me, it's not dry. When I think dry, though, I'm thinking like Fino sherry kind of dry, like an Ardbeg or something like some Springbanks have had that have Fino influenced sherry involved with it, like that port cask. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. I'm probably getting confused, but this is not as dry as I thought it was going to be. The taste is better than I expected to. The funny thing is, this reminds me a lot of Lefroy. The reason I say that is because the ppm is high in this guy. I don't know the numbers. I've never seen an official number, but I can tell you that this is a lot like if you took the Lefroy QA cask, which is the Quercus alba, you put some sherry in it, and you bump the ABV up to 46, because I think the QA is only at 40. Let me take a quick look before I say the wrong thing. Yeah, 40%. So we're looking at a 40% QA cask Lefroy. Great vanilla taste, great peat. Doesn't have a lot of smoke in it, though. This, not only does it have the smoke, it's got the sherry. It's like if you took a Lefroy QA cask and put it with the Ardbeg Ugadal and maybe like 40-40, and then maybe, or 45-45, and then like 10% of a good sherried Ardbeg, or maybe the Lefroy PX cask. But it's not super sweet by any means. It's the sherry is there. It's just not a PX. I shouldn't say PX. It's more of an Oloroso kind of sherry to me. I'm thinking like if you took, I'm looking to see if I can, what would I blend to get this, since you can't readily find this unless you're lucky. Ardbeg Ugadal, 40%, maybe 40% of the Freud QA cask, and a touch of sherry. Maybe if you stuck, trying to think, Glendronach 12 is PX as well. I'm trying to think of a good non-PX cask, like an Oloroso, that would be a good for blending. Maybe if you just had some, and if you do decide to blend this, do like a, trying to think. If you got Oloroso sherry by itself, you don't think percentages. Think of it like a dot, like a couple dots of it, because people, when they blend real sherry with whiskey, they make the mistake of putting like way too much in. So I would say that would be a good representation. Hmm. Some good herbal notes in there too. The mint, not only in the nose, comes through on the palate a little bit. Some really nice dark chocolate. Sweetness in the bottom, mocha. That sherry is well balanced. Where I was afraid it was either going to be super sweet or super dry or super something, but I think it's very well balanced. It's a real treat, man. I didn't want to open it, but I'm glad I did, because if I didn't ever have a chance to sip this, and I'm really surprised I found it, I'd be really sad. Let's take a look at the box, man. This is beautiful. Ardbeg, I'm not really big on super ornate stuff, but they do a really good job on their packaging, I'd say. That's the Kildalton cross, 1,200 years old. It's a symbol there. And it's one of these nice openings where it's got some literature on the top there. I'm afraid to even mess with it. I'm just going to put the bottle back in after I finish it and keep it as a memento, put it back in the shrine. Hopefully someday I'll be able to find the Lord of the Owls for an affordable price, and the Erignon Beige is on my unicorn bottle list. Those two especially. Lord of the Owls is probably the most expensive Ardbeg there is that I could think of, unless you count like some of their very young or their very first, like out of the 3 years they distilled. And I can appreciate that. I'm not really going to get to that level of collecting. I might if I get all the other ones first, but I still have a lot of work to do on all the regular yearly releases for Fish Hill, or for the whole the Ardbeg Days Fish Hill, and the other yearly releases they have. Not even counting the committee releases. So I mean, I've got a couple committee releases back there. I've got the Kelpie and the Grooves, but those are just really lucky finds. If I didn't know where to look, I would have not gotten those. Definitely this year was insane. I've heard that the Ardbeg was so busy on the site that their site actually crashed when they released the Grooves committee ordering, which tells you something there. Really well done. Tomar says he made the mistake. It was funny, a good learning experience. Create just a drop or two of PX, yeah. And even with the Oloroso, I would be extremely light-handed on that on when you're doing your blends. But it's good. I've only done it once, and since I did go into it after doing some research first, I think it was a good experience, and I'll definitely be doing it more often. 480. Oh, wow. The 83. I think they're talking about a specific bottle. I think I missed something earlier. That's okay, though. Let's go down to the end of the comments here. Which 83 bottle were you talking about? Just out of curiosity. I missed that one. I no longer see Dark Cove in stores. Are there still a lot available online? Online, yes, in states that are allowed to sell secondary market like DC have them in stores, but don't be surprised if the committee release runs you $400 and the limited release is like 3 to 350. Um, is it worth it? Only if you've got a lot of extra income. Um, I did not spend that kind of money on it. I got mine for one. I found the limited release in a store about a year ago, and it was 120. So I got lucky on that guy. Um, oh, ball blair, yeah, I love 99 ball blair. I haven't had any other ball blairs, but I should try it. Hey, mom, thanks for stopping by. Richie Z, Travis, there was some non-committee release dark cold bottles on the shelves about me a few months ago. Yeah, I think I saw one recently still in, I want to say there was one store in Maryland. It was either Montgomery County, Maryland, or it might have been a Virginia store that had one bottle of the original Dark Cove for like 110 to 120. Now, the problem though is I don't know if you can get those shipped from the Virginia ABC stores or the Montgomery County, Maryland stores. That's the catch. So that's where it gets kind of iffy. Yeah, I've got the hat. I just haven't put it on yet. I think it's up there actually. Let's go put it on. We'll wrap things up here. Oh my. We'll wrap things up here. Get ready for the race here. I think it's around 6:30, something like that. I can only imagine what a 69 ball blair would be like. That would be crazy. I have to try that out. Nice picture quality computer working well. Yeah, yep. The new computer is much better. Thankfully, got it repaired back, and we are not having any liquids anywhere near this computer from now on. That's for sure. Another store by me with the regular releases. Yeah, Paul. Hell yeah, it's worth it. Is it if it's under 200, it's well worth it in my opinion. If you can appreciate your peat with some sherry influence, good savory, sweet mix together. If you like the Lagavulin Distillers Edition, for example, but even better, I think that you would appreciate it. The assumed age of Dark Cove. Typically, the special releases from Ardbeg don't really have any younger juice than I'd say 8 or 9 years old anyway. So I think they mix some 20-something stuff with their 10, or maybe youngest as since they don't put an age on it, probably like 7. So it balances out probably around a 12 or a 15, I'd say. That's what it reminds me of. If I put it up against another bottle, I would definitely put it up against any 12 I could think of. Even a 15, I don't know if I can beat it. An 18, I think, is pretty much on par with the Dark Cove if I averaged out the ages, together. So thanks for the comments, Mom. On the quality's a lot better. One of my call sign over here fell down. I got to get that replaced. W3AAX. That's my old call sign up there. It's weird because everything's backwards on my screen. So, but yeah, I got a little work to do to build the things back up, but we're getting there. No, I just got out of the shower, so that's why my hair is all messed up. Mo says, Tom, I have not had the 69. It's a price range particularly upsetting. Yeah, I bet that is expensive as hell. There's I'm trying to think, 99, if a 90, I think that's fairly readily available. That's around 150. If it's 69, it's got to be thousands. I'm thinking 1,000 to 2,000. I'm guessing on the price point on that, but I could be wrong. I'll have to see. I'll have to do a little research because I would love to have another ball blair at some point. Finish on this guy is really nice. It is not as dry as I thought it would be with all the sherry that's going on with it. Wow, I was on the money. 2,000. Huh. Yeah, too expensive. This has a lot more of the what I would consider antiseptic qualities, like a Lafroig does on the initial palate. It does have the saltiness, brininess, not too salty though, not too drying out. Finish is nice, dark chocolate with the vanilla together. Really good combination. Oh my. Some toffee, like a Heath bar kind of on the back too. Different than any other Ardbeg that I've had, which is, almost said Lefroy because it's so reminiscent of one. Um, they keep giving me magic every time I look. I'm not complaining. I will take a sample if anyone has a bottle open. Yeah, me too, Tom. Yeah, any samples of salsa out there that you guys have extras of that, and if you don't mind sharing, I would love to accept. So write me at Telex, that's Telex at outlook.com, and we can work something out. Maybe trade some salsa and have a little fun. As you can see, with all these little bottles back here of salsa, I definitely have plenty to go around. Looks like Travis says I've got a Vega 40-year distilled 1990. Wow, 1960. Said anyone try that yet? No, Speyside Blend. Not even heard of that one. Yeah, Travis, you got some crazy stuff sometimes. I'd love to see what you think of it, though. I'll have to do a review somehow. Tom says I have a bottle of liquid cheesecake coming my way. Oh yes, the Spring Bake 12 Burgundy, man. That stuff is glorious. I mean, you gotta be in the mood for a real nice, pungent, almost, I shouldn't say pungent, like a real strong Burgundy wine flavor. And if you go in, add a couple drops of water, you'll definitely get that liquid cheesecake, man. No doubt. I love that stuff. Hard to find, sadly. Anyone got the single cask Nation Port Charlotte? Single cask Nation? I'm trying to see from this angle. It's not the easiest. I've heard that Scotch for Dummies recently. I was listening to them. They were saying that they had a new the part Charlotte was completely redoing their line. I better get some old bottles before they completely redo it. There's a lot I haven't collected from them yet. I might just wait until the new ones come out. I was looking up to get some old ones of the Bunnahabhain before they changed them recently. It looks like a lot of guys are completely redoing their lines, like Jura and other distilleries. So it must be like some sort of like rebirth time. I haven't heard of that one though yet. Travis says it's from North Star Spirits, 400 bottles. That's rare, man. Huh. It's too bad you don't have two of them, one to open, one to keep. That's what my friend Lee G does. He's pretty smart, but also has the capital to do it. If I had the capital, I would have bought two of these and kept one and opened one, but it doesn't always work out that way. It'd be nice though, because then you kind of pay for itself if you ever sold it. My thing was I had to buy three. I had to have one to open, one to save, and one to sell. that would be awesome, but then you're talking, instead of 160 pounds, you're talking a lot more. Oh my. Ralphie Meteorite, Port Charlotte. What? Is there really such a thing as Ralphie Meteorite, Port Charlotte? The single cask Nation bottle sold out in 30 minutes, just over 100 bottles. It is very, very dark. Wow, man. I bet. I don't see how you guys find some of these specialized bottlings. I have to keep my eye up a little more often. There's just so much to collect. I wish I had more capital to throw out there to get a lot of these special ones. Follow me in Snups. I will post a picture when it arrives. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing. I did load it once. I think it was early on its when it was introduced. And I didn't really get into it as much as Distiller, but I'll give it another try. I see that people take pictures of their collection. I'm not sure what the purpose of it is other than just showing pictures of what you got, but I might take another look at it and see how it goes. Because I know Whiskey in the Six likes it a lot. Lee G likes it a lot. And if you're in it, it's got to be halfway decent, I would say. Excuse me. I've not opened it. I fully intend to good company. Well, let's wrap things up here. A few minutes left here, and then you'll have a 10-minute break before Aquavite comes on at on 4 o'clock Eastern time. Travis asks, "Are you on IG? IG? What do you mean by IG?" I'm trying to think of. Is that a program or is that a website? Oh, Instagram. I have not yet. My friend Tosh. Look him up on Instagram. It's a TASHDHONSS is his name. He goes by a whiskey_wonder, I believe. Look for Whiskey Wonder. He runs a restaurant in DC. It's an Asian restaurant, and he's the beverage manager there. He does a lot of Instagram. And has told me that it's well done. That I should do one. So I might have to do that. It's just a lot of times. I've been so behind on Facebook even that I haven't got a lot of my videos up there yet, and that's the most used social media platform still to this day. Especially with our crowd is a little older, so it kind of be beneficial if I spent more time with that. And to introduce Instagram, that's a whole nother thing too. I'd like to do it, but we'll have to see. It's all about time and how that goes. You're lucky to get Tuesday or Saturday and Thursday to do some of these. So you can link your Instagram to Facebook and Twitter. Okay. I'll have to do that because sometimes I might get it doesn't have to be the best camera in the world. If you just take a decent picture and take a picture of a bottle that's going to be reviewed for the week or something and put it up there. Facebook is for oldsters. Yeah. Well, when you're dealing with Scotch, a lot of these guys that are into it, are, the demographic is 40 and up pretty much. So post once it goes to all three. Okay. I'll do that then. That's not a bad idea because that saves time if you have one platform that links to other ones instantly. That's one thing I do not have. So I think I might try that. I don't use Twitter, but I do use Facebook and IG. Okay. All right. Well, I'll take you up on that because Instagram I know is kind of like a photo version of Twitter anyway. So you can never have too many platforms. The only problem is the time it takes to do them. So let's have one more sip. Very well done. Wish I had 3 of these. I'm not disappointed by any means. Really great blends of sweet flavors, balanced with that peat smoke and some maritime savory stuff. I am pleasantly surprised. It's almost like now it's getting more into it. The chocolate's so heavy on like almost like a fudge level. It's almost having like a hot fudge sundae in a glass. Really well done. That sherry, the more time you give it, the more powerful the taste is. And the color is just so light, it really throws me off. But I'm appreciative of the natural aspects of it, Well, guys, we better get wrapped up here, so you guys have time to get ready for Aquavite, and hopefully next time on a round table or a get together, I can officially join one of these guys. I am going to reach out to Whiskey Throttle now that I have my camera set up, and we can do some Google Hangouts. I was just waiting to get this computer back in order to do it, and I think that oh, there you are. Whiskey Throttle says, I wish I could join in, but I have to be on site to watch with header fitting. Oh, wow. Darn work. Yeah. No, that's okay, man. Well, let's, if you can, if you have any time Tuesday evening, let me know via email. You've got my email already. Let me know Tuesday evening. It doesn't matter what time after, like, let's say any time after 7-ish. Let's do maybe a show, at least a trial run, see how it goes, and see what happens with that. Because if I can have some guests on, then that'd be awesome. Just let me know if you're available then. Well, Salan Shiva, guys, and hopefully have a good World Whiskey Day. And I had a fun time already. Can't believe it's already been an hour. Of whiskey and the pronunciation and all sorts of things. So see you later.